Greetings of the day. I am Dr. Ashok Kumar Katta, Department of MBA, Program MBA, Vistas, subject Operations Management. Today, the topic for the presentation is on forecasting. Why the forecasting is one of the important method to study, especially in the point of production and operations management point of. Here, before we are going to talk about the methods of forecasting, we should be knowing about why the forecasting is very important, as well as the forecasting system, how it is functioning, the forecasting related, the kind of errors. First of all, forecasting is a prediction. It is a guessing about the in future activities. Here, the forecasting, which is basically depending on the historical data, previous databases, we are going to come up with an assumption that this is what we are going to do, this is what we are going to be analyzing, and relatively what kind of decisions, what kind of future development steps we need to take. All these things are completely depending on the historical data, and also the historical data will help for us to create a new market, new trends for future development of the industry. Here, being a top level management or any level of employee, you need to have a capacity of how to guess the things, because the guessing is all the time helpful for to create a new demand, as well as you are going to be a pioneer in the particular sector. Here, we need to see the basic business decisions. The first important decision on production, inventory, personal aspects, and then facilities. Here, production. As you know, the production is one of the important element for doing of the forecasting, because we are having huge quantity of material and we are spending so much of time and money in this. So, we don't want to face any kind of losses or any kind of uncertainties in the future. That is only possible with help of by the proper forecasting. Next month there is a strike or there is some problem in the machinery. By suddenly, how are you going to face? How are you going to be analyzing, and you are going to give a good decision for your problems. So, being a production manager, he should have a proper forecasting, maybe related to the problems or for the growth of the institution also. Inventory. This is the basic input for manufacturing. Here, the inventory, if it is sufficiently available, then there is no problem about to the manufacturing of the products. Here, the entire inventory will be using for development and manufacturing of the products. So, the inventory should not be waste. So, inventory related, if in case prices are going to be increased or decreasing, and relatively we should have some kind of forecast. When there is a budget in the month of February, being an inventory manager, they should understood our company related or industry related, whether the prices are going to be increased or decreased. Relatively, they need to give order for the concerned suppliers to keep on maintain at the organization. Relatively, directly or indirectly, you will be having savings or economies. Personal aspects also. Being a professional, you should have a good forecasting. Especially, we are going to see in the point of the stock exchanges also, many business people, they will have an assumption, technical charts, or by seeing about the trends of the company, relatively they will be investing their money. Here also, being a personal manager, being an employee or some other designated staff, you should be knowing very clearly where you are going to investing your money, and relatively what is an output on that. Facilities. Each and every business, they should have to provide basic facilities for manufacturing or worker safety, health related, then the forecasting which is going to be good, because we are going to be assuming no one should not be face any kind of problems or consequences at the organization. Here, the best educated guesses all the time will give you a new trends, This is also to be helpful for institution development. Why the forecasting is very important for us to study each and every department performance, which is going to be depending on their effective level of planning forecasting. Here also the operation management, they will also focus and target about their financial needs. What is the cost of the project, where we are going to get our investment, who are all our investors, what is the capital requirement, they should be know thoroughly. Will they able to provide same kind of facilities for us in future also, or they are going to do any kind of changes in investment or project related changes, they should be know it. Being in human resources also, they should be having a forecast. In future we are going to get many job opportunities, or we are going to get any kind of financial, non-financial benefits or incentives, and all these things are going to be good for the employees. Here also the human resources, all the time they will be an anticipated hiring needs. Production related also to be required forecasting, because they will be having everyday production, scheduling, workforces management, material requirement. Relatively, they need to get inventory from the concerned department. If in case suddenly absenteeism was high in the manufacturing company, how they are going to be managing it off? Or sometimes there is a shortage of material, how they are going to be use it, for it should not be disturbed by the regular production aspect. So each and every place there is an importance of the forecasting. Even though the manufacturers, they will be having a forecasting all the time, workers are very frequently taking leave or by the absenteeism. Sometimes machines are breaking down drastically, the material cost may increase or by the decreases. Every day we are also seeing in the newspaper, every 3 months once or 2 months once, the cooking oil prices are going to be increasing, or the gas cylinder prices are to be increasing. Relatively, being a individual, how effectively you are going to face all these issues. Being an individual, it is a point of 50 rupees, but being a manufacturer or a service provider, it is huge task for them to managing it all these things. Production is all the time in headache process for each and every companies. So they should have a very good forecasting mindset, then only they will be somehow managing about by their regular activities. Otherwise, it is all the time problem for them. Forecasting system, how they are going to use about the historical data in more effectively. We are also encouraging the MBA students, whenever they go for the project, we will give first instruction, the company should have a background of minimum 10 years. Why? Because after knowing about 10 years of company history, they will be understanding the trends, the developments, upgradation, or by the where they need to update by themselves, or knowing by the drawbacks correctly, which is going to be talking forecasting. Relatively, they will be very strong on allocation of the budget. The plan is all the time will anticipate your expenses, losses, many other important aspects. Here, the forecasting system, especially in the point of the businesses, you will be taking an effective decision making. Tomorrow, they are going to increase the petrol prices. If it is known by an ordinary customer, definitely they will go to the petrol bunk by today evening, they will be taking full tank oil. So this is about the individual. Whether the same system which is going to be suitable for all the manufacturers, definitely there will be a problem. So what they will do, how they will prepare the budget, how effectively they will prepare by a good planning to success their business organization. The entire growth which is going to be depending on the simplest term of forecasting. So it is an attempt to predict the future outcomes based on the past event. The management, they should have an inside eye how effectively to managing about by the forecasting system in future endeavor also. Here some kind of errors are there. Before that, we know some kind of forecasting systems in India or and all over the globe. People are using about the Delphi method, which means they will call a subjective experts. They will talk about positive, negatives about the any incident or production related or decision making related. Based on the pooled experience people, they will take a good decision. Sometimes whenever they are doing about moving average method, it is like maybe for the past 3 years of data or 4 years of data, they will take an average. They will come up with an assumption that whether the same prices or the same decisions or same production, same sales, which is going to be valid for the furthermore years or not, also to be given by the forecasting techniques to us. When we talk about the errors, incorrectly identifying the relationship between the variables. Whenever we are talking about price and demand and supply, there is an interrelationship between the variables. Sometimes when you take about the wrong variables like men versus price, there is no any kind of correlation, relation or by the association. When you are wrongly assuming all these things, then definitely which is going to show that a wrong output for calculation. We have to understood about the trends in the demand. The demand will not be have same time or same situations in 24/7. We need to understand the trend base we need to be created by the demand. Already we have seen an example like a sanitizers during the COVID time. Because of the entire trend, they should be use mask as well as sanitizers are must. When the entire world was looking about the sanitizers and mask, actual price compared to that, the sales in the market has been drastically increased. Sales price also they have been increased. Demand also to be very high. So based on the trend, they are changing about to the style of it. Here sometime there are forecasting assumptions also we have. Some techniques are maybe valid for your assessment. Sometimes it may not be valid. Sometimes you need to do some changes in your forecasting, or these kind of forecastings are not at all suitable for the current trend. All these things are to be observed, to be monitored by and each and every individual. So the variations, collected information sources, it should be reliable. During the research time also, we will insist to the research scholars to collect first-hand primary information, because you are collecting a direct source of information from the correct respondents. When you are approaching to the people, when you collecting the first-hand information, which is going to give correct information, right decision making, which is definitely helpful for directly or indirectly. Thank you.